Hi everyone, welcome to another Sunday Speaks. As always, I'm Cheyenne Severin, and today I'm here with
James Sands.
James. Where do you work?
I work at Psyclarity Health, New Jersey.
hmm What do you do
It's an
there?
outpatient IOP and PHP outpatient substance abuse and mental health treatment center. I'm a director of outreach.
So, before we talk about the main point that we're here today, wholeness and wellness leading up to Recovery Day, do you want to talk about just a little about like what you do for your work?
Sure. So what I do is I go out and I try to do presentations for social workers, hospital staff, unions, and EAPs to present my treatment center so that we could be a potential referral source so that they could send us patients. And so a lot of meetings, a lot of presenting, and sometimes engaging with families. If I'm in the middle of admitting a patient, I'm going to have to explain our treatment center and some of the intricacies around the the clinical side. I have a little bit of a clinical background too, so it does vary a little bit. But in essence, in a nutshell, I bring people into treatment on a daily basis, day and night.
And are you in recovery yourself?
I am, to self-disclose, I've been in recovery since 1991. I'm 55 now. I came in when I was 22, I believe it was. I went to a place called Seafield in the Hamptons. Um, and I made a decision very early on. I had a couple of stumbles in the beginning, uh, but I made a decision to live a life of recovery. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's an ongoing process, but being that we're talking about wholeness and wellness in regards to recovery because of Recovery Day, just tell me a little bit, and we'll get into Recovery Day a little bit later, but just what do you do to keep yourself whole and well and your mental health grounded and everything? What is it that helps you with all of that, James?
Well, I mean, when I get up in the morning, what I like to do, the first thing I like to do every single morning is I make my bed. Because you're actually accomplishing something very early on. Um, I pray in the morning. Okay, so I don't know who. Everyone has a right to their own higher power and they're a God of their own understanding. And but me, I pray. I pray every morning, and that's my way of getting focused and situated and grounded. I keep a calendar. I think that keeping a strict calendar and not getting distracted and keeping boundaries helps reduce any stress. I mean, you normally wouldn't look at a calendar and stress. You're not associating the two, but if you stick to your calendar and you hold boundaries, uh, believe it or not, your time management will fall into place, and you'll probably experience what I experienced, which is not getting overwhelmed and not getting too stressed out. So that's one of the other things. I make meetings on a regular basis. I do a lot of service in Narcotics Anonymous. I do make all different 12-step meetings, but I still do a lot of service in Narcotics Anonymous. I bring a meeting into a hospital in Nyack, and I play pickleball. It's a sport that's becoming very, very popular. I played professional paddleball through the years of my life, and I can't really play that anymore. So I play this game called pickleball, and it's a really cool game. And I also play it with a lot of people that are in my field of work. We have like a little group. So the camaraderie with that is physically is good and mentally is good. It gives me a sense of purpose and gives me some camaraderie. Uh, what else do I do for mental health? I try on a daily basis to recognize and identify any negative self-talk around me, and if I catch myself doing it myself, it's funny. I was just talking to my boss about this yesterday. Um, I try to always catch myself if I'm doing it myself or if I hear it. I try to recognize it and I never engage in it. Um, but that's and I keep healthy relationships in my life today. I play in a rock band. The guys in my band are not in recovery, but those are some healthy relationships that I've made um, through the years, and pretty much that's I've lived a life of recovery, and all of my friends, most of my friends are in recovery, but the ones that are not are just healthy relationships that I've made outside of recovery. Um, and that's it as far as I think I answered your question. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. So, in regards to like pickleball and your band and everything, those it sounds like those healthy connections are important to you. So, how important in general would you say keeping healthy relationships, positive relationships are to keeping a healthy mental well-being?
It's probably one of the most important things, especially if you work in the field of substance abuse and mental health. You're probably obligated, even more so, to concentrate on your own mental health. You have an obligation to. That's why a lot of times therapists see therapists, because it's very important. They have an obligation to make sure that they're sound, and myself as well. I make sure that the people I keep around me are, the ones that are in my day to day life are healthy relationships that are not unhinged, people that are not unhinged or reckless or engaging in dangerous behaviors. Like I said, they don't have to be in recovery to be in my circle. It just so happens a lot of my friends are. I have a lot of friends in lots of friends in law enforcement, and again, because these are people that are usually trying to stay on the beam. But no, for the really, I surround myself with people that are like-minded people, and that's what I do. That's important for me. That's important.
So, going back to pickleball for a minute, what is it specifically about that sport or game that calls to you? You know, why is it pickleball and not like basketball or anything else?
Well, in the Bronx growing up, I played a game called paddleball. And
Mm-hmm.
there's not too many there's some places in New Jersey that have paddleball. There could be some Hebrew Jewish communities that have courts set aside that I've played at through the years. But in Manhattan, in the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens, they're all over the place. And that sport, I'm physically, now I'm 55. I have a little bit of a hip injury, and I can't really physically play that game to the level I want it that I played at. So pickleball is a little bit of it's less demanding on the body, and and it's like a little bit easier, and it's an equalizer. You could play with women, young folks, older folks. If you're, no one really completely overpowers someone else. So you could really, it's an equalizer. You could play with almost anybody. Of course, there's the better players that not everyone's going to play with. But for me, I enjoy the camaraderie of people in the field that like to play it, and it's enjoyable for me. It brings back memories. It makes me feel like I can do, I could play a rigorous sport again like that at that level. But but yeah, that's. I hope I answered your question with that.
No, you did. So, since you play with like a lot of other people, especially people in recovery, is how did that happen? Like, how did that group kind of form?
Well, actually, I play with a few people that are in the field. They're actually two of them are in recovery. Two of them are social workers that are not in
Mm.
recovery, and there's one or two that just started. Well, we just through talking about it, and just like anything else, you start talking about something, you get a little buzz, and everyone gets a little fever, and then you just do it. We played down in Asbury Park. We picked some courts over there. Plus, I mean, I don't only play with them. I have other friends that used to play the sport that I played growing up, that now have transferred to this sport.
Okay.
And part of the reason that other sport, paddleball, that I played growing up is one of the games that I really picked up, especially once I entered into recovery. When we get into recovery, we start exploring our old hobbies that we might have stopped through the years. Those several years of usage stop us from a lot of things that we love to do. I stopped playing the drums when I was 15 years old. Ironically, that's when I started drinking. And so I picked up the drums years later again when I was much older, and I developed a band. And the reason why I did that is because my other hobby of paddleball was falling off. My point is, I needed healthy hobbies, and I shifted from, I shifted around things. And one of the things that I picked up was, like I said, pickleball, as well as developing the band was another hobby of mine from when I was young that I moved forward with. And I developed a pretty cool band. We got a decent little following. We actually get paid good money every time we play out. We used to play for any place we went. We played for nothing, but we got to the point where, we had a following, and we were now like in demand where we come from. So that plus meetings, it's a good life. It's hobbies are key. So if anybody's new, if you have friends that are new in recovery, get back into some of those hobbies as a adjunct to your meetings and everything else that you're doing for self-help.
So we talked a bit about the origins of like pickleball for you, but speaking about the band, I want to know a little bit more about that. So you used to play the drums and everything, but what happened
Yeah.
there?
Well, I stopped when I was around 15, like I said, somewhere around 14 to 15, and then I picked it back up, my 40s. Like, I'm 55 now. I picked it up when I was maybe 45.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure. Basically, like I did it because it was, it's healthy coping and positive pastime and stuff like that. And again, camaraderie with the bandmates, all people that are not, there's only four of us. They're not unhinged. They're steady, responsible people who have steady jobs, and they were all around my age. And the funny thing is, for me, my music passion is like 90s rock,
Mm-hmm.
like grunge. Of course we play a lot of music, but that was like my passion. And I found that like that was the music that was out when I was in early recovery. So it's funny, like it's almost like there was a period, like a blackout period of
Mm-hmm.
things I just forgot. And then once I got into recovery, the music that was out at that time in the 90s and up to 2000, like that's when I guess my mind was open. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but it just seems to be and that's really most of the genre that we play. It's like Pearl Jam and Foo Fighters and Kings of Leon and things like that. But it's a lot of fun. And I always bring all my friends from AA and NA out.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody gets a couple of tables. They eat like crazy and drink water and soda. And it's another way of bringing people together too, as far as that goes. It's another way of doing healthy hobbies, healthy fellowshipping and stuff.
So what's your band called?
We're called the Guys on the Second Floor.
Oh, the guys on the second floor. You're playing at Recovery Day, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
I put you
Yeah.
guys on a flyer.
I I spoke to my bandmates and told them what the event was about, and they all know about me. They're really good friends of mine, and they were like more than happy to donate their time, and yeah, we're excited. We're excited to play over there.
So how much do you know about
Yeah.
Recovery Day then?
So I worked at the counseling center at Sunrise Detox for 1 year as in outreach, and for 1 year at High Focus in outreach in Paramus. Both years that I did outreach, I had a table at Recovery Day. One was in the first year in Rockland County. We had to actually move it to another part, and something happened. So I participated that 1 year. That's where I met Morgan and the other girl, I forgot her name.
Melissa?
Morgan Kennedy and Melissa. Yeah,
Yeah.
Melissa. And Nancy. So I tabled that event. It was a great event. I invited friends of mine in recovery that are outside of the field, and we had a great time. And then the second year, I did it again at Tallman Pool Club, which was last year.
Yeah.
And that was even better. I was like, wow, this is like a really cool thing. But I felt like more people needed to know about it because this organization is, the community-based organizations are where the rubber meets the road in recovery and spreading the word. We really can't rely on the treatment centers to do that. And alumni in recovery, and I've seen them in Long Island, the city, South, alumni in recovery of any of the other ones that I've seen have the best reach, best participation, the best reach, the best resources. And I just think that it's a fantastic organization. So, but last year, I felt like more people should be there.
Mm-hmm.
That coupled in with the Black Poster Project, and I mean, that's just sends chills up. If anybody hasn't been to one, that will just send chills up your spine. That's incredible. I think every person in treatment needs to experience walking through one of those Black Poster projects. Anyway, but I do know plenty about alumni, about the Recovery Day, and it's a great way to spread resources for mental health, substance use, wellness in many different facets.
So, yeah. This is going to be my first recovery day, so I'm excited to experience it. This year, it's happening on September 9th. There is a $15 entry fee, but it comes with free food and music and Wellness Way, which is like everything you could imagine. It's got crystals, and
Yeah.
someone's doing like angel readings, so it's exciting. If you want to learn more about that, for anyone watching, you can go to our website at alumniinrecovery.org, or you could look at our Facebook banner. It's all there. So, that being said, James, we're almost out of time. So, do you have any last comments, questions, concerns before we end off today?
No, I would like to know who do we have on the call? Like, are these people in just the community? Everyone, whoever participated in the community that isn't, or people involved?
Who are watching this right now?
Yes.
Okay, so right now you're live on our Facebook page. Hi, everyone. So, anyone who stumbles on our Facebook page, anyone who follows us, basically it's like a public live stream. So, anyone and
Okay.
everyone can watch. But this will
Got
be
it.
posted later on our YouTube channel, free plugins,
Okay.
at Alumni in Recovery there. So, anyone could watch it there, and it'll also be put into a podcast format, so like audio only on
Okay.
Spotify. So, yeah.
Okay. So then what I'd like to say as my closing statement here is that whoever's listening, tell everyone you know about Recovery Day, because the resources that are there are just there's so much resources there. You don't know when you're going to need something like this. And everybody's willing to give you more. Like if you need more pamphlets of a certain resource, they're happy to give it to you. You have NA there, you have AA there, you have, I don't know if NAMI is there, but you have every treatment center is there, whether it's mental health primary or whether it's substance use primary or co-occurring. All other wellness style companies and different avenues of things to do and to get involved with, suicide prevention information. Just there's so much there, and for $15, spending a day out there, you got the pool, it's beautiful. We're gonna rock the shit out of the place. I mean, you're gonna love the music. We're gonna blow you away with the music. We were, we're very popular where we come from, and you guys are getting that. And then you get the DJs coming. You have speakers sharing their stories. I think that I'm even one of the speakers, so you can hear more about the background of my story and how I've gotten to this point. Um, and but just please spread the word, tell all your friends, and coming out to Recovery Day on the 9th. I hope I see everybody there.
Tallman Pool Club. Thank you for taking the time today, James. I really
You're
enjoyed
welcome.
speaking to you. I liked hearing about your adventures with pickleball and your band. So that's it. I like talking to you. Have a nice day.
Great, great. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.